The sun dipped behind the forest as a quiet road stretched endlessly ahead. 10-year-old Jack walked beside it, barefoot and terrified. His father lay somewhere behind him, bleeding and unconscious after a brutal attack. Jack's small heart raced. Every rustle in the trees made him flinch, but he couldn't stop. He had to find help, no matter what it took. It had happened so fast. His father had stopped their old car when a group of men emerged from the trees. They demanded money. When his father refused, they beat him savagely and fled, leaving him broken in the mud. Jack screamed, but no one heard. Now, trembling in fear, he carried only one thought: save Dad before it's too late. Jack ran for what felt like miles. His breath came in gasps, tears mixing with dust on his cheeks. He waved at every passing vehicle, but none stopped. Darkness crept in. He fell to his knees, whispering, "Please, God, someone help me." Then, faintly, from far down the road, he heard the sound. The roar of engines. Headlights flashed through the mist. A gang of bikers thundered down the road, leather jackets, roaring engines, intimidating faces. Jack's heart pounded. Everyone said they were dangerous. But fear couldn't stop him now. He stumbled into the middle of the road, waving both arms, shouting, "Stop! Please stop!" The bike screeched to a halt inches from him. One man cursed, another shouted, "Kid, are you out of your mind?" Jack fell to the ground, crying, "Please, my father's hurt! They attacked him in the woods! He's dying!" The gang fell silent. Their leader, a tall man with a scarred cheek, took off his helmet and crouched beside him. The leader's name was Rex. He studied the trembling boy for a long moment, his hardened expression softening. "Where is he?" Jack pointed toward the trees. Without hesitation, Rex stood up and barked, "Let's move!" The bikers exchanged glances. They'd never seen their leader react like that, but followed him without question. They found Jack's father lying beside the road, pale and barely breathing. Blood soaked his shirt. Rex knelt beside him and checked his pulse. "He's alive," he said firmly. He tore off his own jacket, pressed it against the wound, and ordered, "We need water and cloth, now." The gang moved fast. These men who looked like outlaws suddenly turned into rescuers. One biker lifted the man's head. Another poured water over his wounds. Jack clung to his father's hand, whispering, "Hold on, Dad." Rex looked at him and said, "He's tough, kid." "So are you. We'll get him out." When one biker tried calling an ambulance, the signal failed. "No coverage here," he said. Rex clenched his fists. "Then we don't wait." He lifted the wounded man onto his motorcycle, wrapping his arms around him to keep him steady. "Kid, get on with me," he ordered. The engines roared to life again. The gang raced down the narrow forest trail, headlights slicing through darkness. Rain began to fall, but they didn't slow. Jack held on to his father, feeling every bump and turn. The smell of gasoline, the roar of engines, the pounding of his heart. It was a blur of fear and hope. They burst out of the forest and onto the main road. Rex's eyes locked on a distant light, the hospital sign. "Hold on," he shouted, pushing the throttle to its limit. Cars honked as the gang tore through town. Nurses rushed outside as they screeched to a halt at the hospital gate. Doctors carried Jack's father inside. Jack sat beside Rex, drenched and shaking. The clock ticked endlessly. Rex stayed silent, his eyes fixed on the floor. Finally, the doctor appeared. "He's stable now, if you hadn't brought him in time." She smiled softly. "You saved his life." Jack burst into tears of relief. Rex looked away, blinking fast. "We did what anyone should," he muttered. Jack hugged him tightly. The tough man froze for a second, then patted the boy's back gently. "You're a brave kid," he said. "Your dad's lucky." For the first time in years, Rex felt something stir inside. Peace. The next morning, the gang prepared to leave. Jack's father was awake, weak but smiling. He reached out his hand to Rex. "I don't know how to thank you." Rex shook his head. "Just get better." As the bikers started their engines, Jack ran to Rex and hugged him again. "You're my hero," he whispered. Rex smiled and removed a worn leather bracelet from his wrist. "Keep this," he said. "So you never forget, good people can look rough too." Jack nodded, eyes glistening. Rex turned, revved his bike, and rode off, the others following like thunder rolling through the dawn. Weeks later, Jack and his father walked along the same forest road. The breeze whispered through the trees. "You're not scared anymore?" his father asked. Jack smiled. "No, because I know even strangers can become angels." Far away, the faint echo of motorcycles filled the air, a promise of kindness that never dies.